Have you ever noticed that the first thing you do in the morning can completely shape your entire day? Think about it. You reach for your phone, check your emails, scroll through the news, and suddenly, before you even brush your teeth, your heart is racing. Your mind is already drowning in stress. It's almost ironic, isn't it? The very moment that's supposed to be the calmest, those precious first minutes after waking, often become the most chaotic. And here's the hidden cost. When your morning begins in a rush, anxiety quietly writes the script for the rest of your day. But here's the good news. Buddhist wisdom teaches us something profoundly different. It tells us that the morning isn't just another routine. It's sacred. It's a doorway. It's the moment when you decide whether you'll carry yesterday's chaos forward or step into today with clarity, gratitude, and peace. Imagine this. Instead of jumping straight into your to-do list, you pause. You take one slow breath. You whisper to yourself, "This is a new beginning." In that instant, you're no longer at the mercy of stress. You're the author of your day. Modern science actually supports this ancient wisdom. Psychologists call it the morning framing effect. The way your brain interprets the very first hour determines how it reacts to challenges, distractions, and even relationships for the next 12 to 16 hours. So let me ask you, how have you been starting your mornings? Are you giving your mind the same chance to recharge as your body? Or are you rushing into the world half awake, half distracted, letting stress decide the tone for you? Because here's the truth. Every sunrise is more than just light breaking through darkness. Every sunrise is life, whispering, "Here's another chance." And you get to choose. Will you waste it on autopilot, or will you step into it with intention? Stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to share 7 powerful morning habits drawn from Buddhist wisdom that can transform not just how you start your day, but how you live your life. These are not complicated rituals. They're simple, practical shifts, things you can do tomorrow morning, even if you have just 10 minutes. And once you start practicing them, you'll feel the difference. Less tension in your body, more clarity in your mind, and a deeper sense of joy in the everyday moments. But before we dive into those 7 habits, I want to plant this seed. Your mornings are the mirror of your life. If your mornings are rushed, scattered, and reactive, chances are your days and even your years will reflect that. But if your mornings are calm, intentional, and filled with presence, imagine what your days and your life could become. By the way, as a thank you for walking this journey with me, I've prepared a special gift for you in the video description, a free guided morning meditation you can listen to tomorrow as soon as you wake up. It's a small way of saying thank you for showing up here, and I promise it will set the tone for a beautiful day. So, are you ready to break free from mornings that drain you and instead create mornings that empower you? Then let's begin. 1. Silence and reflection. Let me tell you a story. There's a man named Michael. He's in his 40s, a father of 2, with a demanding job and endless responsibilities. Every morning, the alarm clock rings, and before his feet even touch the floor, his mind is already racing. Meetings, bills, emails, deadlines. He pours his coffee, checks his phone, and rushes into the day. But deep inside, he feels like he's always running, never arriving. Does that sound familiar? One day, out of pure exhaustion, Michael tried something different. Instead of jumping straight into the chaos, he just sat on the edge of his bed. No phone, no noise, just silence. At first, it felt uncomfortable. The mind hates silence. It wants to keep moving, keep distracting. But after a minute or two, he noticed something. His breath, his heartbeat, the quiet stillness of the morning. And in that stillness, something shifted. The rushing thoughts slowed down, his body softened, and for the first time in years, he felt like he was in control of the day. not the other way around. This is what Buddhist wisdom has taught for centuries. Begin with silence. The Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." And silence is the doorway to that peace. When you start your day with stillness, you create a bridge between the world of dreams and the world of waking. Without it, you jump too quickly, and the mind stays restless all day. Modern science agrees. Studies on mindfulness show that even 2 minutes of quiet reflection lowers cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that tells you you're safe. You can breathe, you can rest. Imagine beginning your day not with panic, but with safety, clarity, and calm. So how can you practice this? It's simple. Tomorrow morning, before you grab your phone, just sit. Close your eyes if you like. Notice the silence around you. If your mind starts racing, that's okay. Just bring it back, gently, to this moment. To your breath, to your heartbeat, to the quiet gift of being alive. It doesn't have to be long. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 if you can. Think of it as the pause button your soul has been begging for. A sacred moment before the noise of the world takes over. Because here's the truth. Silence is not the absence of life. It's the space where life begins. And when you allow yourself to touch that silence every morning, you'll notice something remarkable. The noise of the day doesn't control you anymore. You carry a calm center within you, no matter what happens. So, let me ask you, tomorrow morning, when the alarm rings, will you rush straight into the storm? Or will you give yourself permission to begin with silence? 2. Breathing. Mindful breathing. There's a woman named Sarah. She's a nurse. Her days are long, sometimes 12 hours on her feet, taking care of others while forgetting to take care of herself. Every morning when she wakes up, her first thought isn't peace. It's a heavy sigh, a sense of exhaustion before the day even begins. One morning, after a particularly hard week, she remembered something simple. A friend once told her, "Just breathe." At first, she brushed it off. Breathing? She did that all the time. What difference could it make? But that morning, instead of rushing to her phone or jumping straight into the shower, Sarah paused. She placed her hand on her stomach. She closed her eyes, and she took one slow, deep breath in and out. Then another, and another. In less than a minute, something shifted. The tightness in her chest eased. The heaviness in her mind softened. For the first time in a long time, she felt like she wasn't being pulled into the day. She was gently arriving into it. This is the power of mindful breathing. The Buddha once said, "To breathe in and know you are breathing in. To breathe out and know you are breathing out. This is enough." It sounds simple, but the truth is, simplicity often hides the deepest wisdom. Modern science agrees. When you take slow, deep breaths, you're not just calming your mind, you're changing your body. Studies show that mindful breathing lowers blood pressure, reduces stress hormones, and even boosts your immune system. It tells your nervous system, you're safe, you're alive, you can relax. Think about it. We breathe more than 20,000 times a day. But how many of those breaths do we actually notice? Most of the time, we breathe shallow, rushed, almost mechanical, like life is slipping past us without us even realizing it. But when you pause, even for a few moments in the morning, and breathe with awareness, you reclaim something priceless: presence. It's like pressing a reset button for your mind and body. Suddenly, the noise fades, and you're here fully awake, fully alive. So here's a simple practice you can try tomorrow morning. Before you get out of bed, place one hand on your stomach and one on your chest. Take a deep breath in through your nose for 4 counts. Hold it gently for 2 counts. Then, breathe out slowly for 6 counts. Do this 3 times. That's it. Less than 2 minutes. But you'll notice the difference. Your shoulders will relax. Your mind will soften. And instead of rushing into the day with tension, you'll step into it with peace. Because here's the truth. Your breath is more than oxygen. It's your anchor. No matter how chaotic life gets, no matter what storms the day might bring, your breath is always with you, quiet, steady, faithful. So, let me ask you, tomorrow morning, will you wake up already drowning in stress? Or will you pause, breathe deeply, and give yourself the gift of presence? 3. Gratitude, thankfulness. Let me introduce you to David. He's a successful man by most standards. Good career, nice house, family. Yet every morning, as soon as he wakes up, he feels the weight of what's missing. The bills that need paying, the projects still unfinished, the opportunities that slip through his fingers. It's almost as if his mind wakes up searching for lack. And because of that, his heart never feels full. One morning, while reading about mindfulness, David came across a simple suggestion. Before you start your day, name 3 things you are grateful for. At first, it sounded too simple, maybe even silly. How could 3 thoughts change anything? But the next morning, before grabbing his phone, he tried. He whispered quietly to himself, "I'm grateful for the warm bed that held me through the night. I'm grateful for the sunlight peeking through the window. I'm grateful for the breath in my lungs that gives me another chance today." And something surprising happened. His chest softened. His eyes teared up just a little. The problems were still there, but they didn't feel as heavy. Because gratitude had shifted his perspective from what's missing to what's already here. The Buddha once said, "Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. If we didn't gain a lot, at least we gained something. And if we didn't get what we wanted, at least we didn't lose everything." Gratitude is not denial. It doesn't erase challenges, but it transforms the way we carry them. When your heart is full of appreciation, problems don't crush you as easily. Modern science confirms this. Studies show that practicing gratitude daily rewires the brain, activating regions linked to joy and resilience. It lowers anxiety, improves sleep, and even strengthens relationships. In other words, gratitude isn't just spiritual, it's deeply practical. So tomorrow morning, after you've taken that mindful breath, pause for a moment. Think of 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. In fact, the smaller the better. The smell of coffee, the sound of birds, the smile of someone you love. When you train your mind to notice these things, your entire day shifts. Instead of walking into the world with a sense of emptiness, you carry a quiet abundance. And that abundance gives you strength, even when life tests you. Because here's the truth. A grateful heart is an unshakable heart. When gratitude becomes your morning habit, you stop chasing happiness outside of yourself. You start realizing it was already within you. So let me ask you this. Tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, will you focus on what's missing? Or will you choose to whisper 3 simple words of gratitude and let them set the tone for your entire day? 4. Intention. Setting an intention for the new day. Imagine waking up and realizing that every morning, life hands you a blank sheet of paper. Nothing written, nothing defined, just pure potential. But here's the catch. If you don't write on that page, life will. The chaos of the world, the rush of deadlines, the moods of others, these things will scribble across your day before you even have a chance to breathe. This is why intention matters. It's not about controlling every moment. It's about choosing how you wish to show up in the moments. Let me tell you about Sarah. She's a mother of two, working full-time, always rushing from one thing to another. Most mornings, she would wake up, grab her phone, check emails, and immediately feel behind. By 8 a.m., her mind was already exhausted. One day, her therapist suggested something different. Before you look at your phone, whisper one simple intention for your day. The first morning she tried, she said quietly, "Today, I choose to walk with peace." It sounded almost too simple, but she carried that sentence like a lantern. When her child spilled juice on the floor, she paused. When traffic slowed her down, she took a breath. The problems didn't disappear, but her heart no longer felt hijacked by them. Buddha once taught, "What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create." Setting an intention is like planting a seed in the soil of your mind. You may not control the weather of the day, but you decide what grows. Think about it. If you start your day with the silent script of, "I'm already behind, I don't have enough time, everything is too much," what kind of story will unfold? But if your first thought is, "I choose peace," or "I will meet today with compassion," suddenly, your story changes. Your nervous system calms. Your choices align. And life begins to respond differently. Science actually backs this up. Studies in neuroscience show that when you set a conscious intention, your brain activates something called the reticular activating system. It's like the brain's filter. It starts noticing opportunities, patterns, and choices that match the intention you've planted. So a simple morning sentence becomes a compass, guiding both your mind and your actions. So, here's my invitation for you. Tomorrow morning, before the world pulls you into its noise, sit up in bed, place your hand on your heart, and ask yourself, what is one quality I want to bring into this day? It doesn't have to be big. It can be as gentle as, "Today, I choose kindness," or as steady as, "I will move with clarity," or as grounding as, "I walk in peace." The beauty of this practice is that it doesn't require an hour-long meditation. It takes less than a minute. But that 1 minute can transform how the next 16 hours unfold. Remember Sarah? Months later, she said this simple ritual didn't just change her mornings. It changed her life. Because little by little, her days became a reflection of her deepest values, not her loudest worries. So tomorrow, let your morning be your canvas. Write your intention on it with care. And watch how even the smallest seed of intention can grow into a day filled with clarity, strength, and quiet joy. And if you'd like a little help, I've placed a special gift for you in the description to a free morning intention guide you can download and use every day as your compass. 5. Movement. Mindful movement. Have you ever noticed how heavy your body feels in the morning? Almost like your soul woke up before your muscles did. You stretch your arm toward the alarm clock, but your mind is already racing ahead, while your body still lingers in sleep. This is where mindful movement becomes powerful, because the way you treat your body at the start of the day sets the rhythm for your mind. Let me share the story of Daniel. He's a 7-year-old accountant, often stuck behind his desk for hours. Every morning, he would wake up, drink coffee, and dive straight into emails. His shoulders were tense, his back ached, and by noon, he already felt drained. One day, his doctor suggested something simple. Before coffee, before emails, just move. Daniel resisted at first. He thought, "I don't have time for exercise." But his doctor explained, movement doesn't have to mean running 5 miles. It can be as gentle as standing up, breathing deeply, and reaching your arms toward the ceiling. or taking 5 mindful steps across the room, paying attention to the ground beneath your feet. The first morning he tried, Daniel walked slowly from his bedroom to the kitchen. Each step in silence, each breath in awareness. And to his surprise, it shifted something inside him. The fog in his mind cleared. His chest felt lighter. He realized he wasn't just moving his body. He was waking up his spirit. Buddha once said, "To keep the body in good health is a duty, otherwise we shall not be able to keep our mind strong and clear." These words remind us that the body is not separate from the mind. They are partners. When the body is neglected, the mind suffers. When the body is honored, the mind finds clarity. Think about it. How many of us treat our bodies like machines, forcing them to work without pause, without gratitude? But the truth is, our body is the vehicle that carries us through this life. And when we move it with mindfulness, we begin to experience something profound, the union of body and mind. Modern science agrees. Research shows that even just 5 minutes of mindful stretching or slow walking in the morning can reduce stress hormones, improve focus, and even enhance emotional resilience. Your brain literally works better when your body is gently activated. So, here's a simple practice you can try tomorrow. The moment you rise, before rushing into the noise of the world, place your feet on the floor. Take one slow breath, then stand and stretch your arms wide, like you're welcoming the day with an open heart. Or, if you prefer, step outside and take 10 slow, conscious steps. Feel the ground. Notice the air. Let each movement remind you, I am alive, I am present, I am whole. Daniel told me that after weeks of practicing mindful movement, his mornings transformed. He no longer rushed into the day with tension. Instead, he entered it with calm energy. And that small shift changed not only his health, but the way he treated others. He found himself more patient with his children, more focused at work, and even more grateful for simple things. So ask yourself, how might your life feel different if you gave your body this small gift each morning? Because mindful movement isn't just exercise. It's a ritual of awakening, a way to align body and mind so that the day ahead is guided by presence, not by pressure. And if you'd like some help starting, I've left a free gift in the description, a short guide with 5 simple mindful movements you can do in under 5 minutes. Try it tomorrow and see how your day begins to shift. 6. Nature. Connecting with nature. Do you remember the last time you truly noticed the sky at sunrise? Not just glanced at it while rushing to work, but really paused and let the soft colors of dawn touch your heart. Most of us rarely give ourselves that gift. We wake up, grab our phone, check the news, check emails, and before we know it, we're already carrying the weight of the world. But the morning light, the sound of a bird, the gentle rustle of leaves, they're invitations. Invitations back to peace. Let me share the story of Elena. She's a 38-year-old teacher, often overwhelmed by the demands of her students and the endless responsibilities at home. Her mornings used to feel like chaos, rushing, shouting at her kids to get ready, spilling coffee, already exhausted before the day had even begun. One day, almost by accident, she stepped outside her door a few minutes earlier than usual. And she stopped. The sun was rising, painting the sky in soft pinks and gold. She heard the simple melody of a bird calling from a nearby tree. For the first time in years, she breathed without hurry. That small pause changed everything. She realized nature wasn't something separate from her life. It was a mirror, a teacher. The stillness of the trees reminded her to be still inside. The constant flow of the river nearby reminded her that even struggles move on. And the rising sun reminded her of something Buddha once taught. Just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life. Nature was feeding her spirit in ways she had forgotten to notice. Science supports this too. Studies show that even a few minutes in nature each morning lowers stress hormones, steadies the heartbeat, and increases feelings of calm and connection. Your nervous system begins to match the slower rhythm of the natural world. You literally start to breathe with the earth again. But here's the truth. Connecting with nature doesn't always mean walking into a forest or hiking up a mountain. Sometimes it's as simple as stepping onto your porch and noticing how the light touches a single leaf. Or opening your window and listening, really listening, to the song of a bird. The point is not where you are. The point is whether you are present enough to see. So tomorrow morning, before you get lost in the noise of the world, try this. Step outside. Stand still for a moment. Take one slow breath in, one slow breath out. Let your eyes notice something small, a flower, a tree branch, even the way the wind brushes across your skin. Allow yourself to remember that you are not separate from this world. You are part of its rhythm. And just like the trees that bend with the wind, you too can bend without breaking. Elena told me that this became her quiet ritual. She no longer starts the day with chaos in her chest. She starts it with wonder. And because of that, she finds herself calmer with her children, more patient with her students, and even more forgiving with herself. So let me ask you, when was the last time you let nature speak to you? Not as something outside of you, but as something within you? Because every sunrise, every bird, every falling leaf carries the same reminder. Life is fleeting. Life is precious. And peace is always available if you pause to notice it. And maybe tomorrow morning, the sky itself will be your teacher. 7. Mindful eating. Have you ever eaten an entire meal and then realized you barely tasted it? Maybe you were scrolling through your phone. Maybe your mind was already racing toward the next meeting, the next chore, the next thing on your list. And suddenly, your plate is empty, but your heart still feels hungry. That's the world most of us live in, eating without presence. Consuming, but not really nourishing. And it leaves us restless. Let me tell you about Daniel. He's 45, working long hours in finance, constantly stressed, always rushing. For years, his breakfast was a quick coffee gulped down in the car, maybe a bagel half-eaten between traffic lights. Food was just fuel, nothing more. Until one morning, after a health scare, his doctor told him, "Your body is asking you to slow down." Those words hit him harder than any lab report. So Daniel decided to try something new. He sat at his kitchen table with just a bowl of oatmeal. No phone, no television, just him and the food. He noticed the steam rising, the warmth of the bowl in his hands. He took one slow bite, and for the first time in years, he actually tasted breakfast. The sweetness of the fruit, the creaminess of the oats, the way it filled not only his stomach, but also something deeper, his sense of presence. This is what mindful eating is all about. In Buddhism, eating is never just about the body. It's about the mind and heart as well. Thich Nhat Hanh, the great Zen teacher, once said, "When you eat, simple yet profound." Because when we eat in awareness, we are not just feeding our body, we are feeding gratitude, patience, and peace. Modern science agrees. Studies show that when we slow down and eat mindfully, digestion improves, stress levels drop, and we're less likely to overeat. Why? Because our body finally has time to send the signal, "I am satisfied." And our mind, no longer distracted, finally feels nourished. But let's be honest. Mindful eating is not always easy in a world that pushes us to rush. It can feel awkward at first. You might think, I don't have time for this. But here's the truth, you don't need an hour-long ritual. Even the first 5 minutes of your breakfast can be transformed into a sacred practice. Here's a simple way to start tomorrow morning. When you sit down with your meal, pause for just a moment. Look at the food. Notice its colors, its shapes. Remember the journey it took, the sun, the rain, the farmer, the hands that prepared it. Take one slow breath. Then, take your first bite as if it were the first bite you've ever tasted in your life. Ask yourself, can I feel the texture? Can I notice the flavors unfolding? Can I simply be here, now, with this nourishment? Daniel told me this practice became the anchor of his mornings. It slowed him down before the chaos of the day. It reminded him that life is not just about rushing through tasks, but about receiving each moment fully. So let me ask you, when was the last time you truly tasted your food? Not just ate to survive, but ate to awaken? Because every breakfast is more than calories. It's an invitation to care for your body, to quiet your mind, and to remember that gratitude can be found in something as simple as a single bite. And maybe tomorrow, your breakfast can become your meditation. Closing. Imagine this for a moment. You wake up tomorrow, and before reaching for your phone, before diving into the noise of the world, you simply pause. You take one deep breath. You whisper a quiet word of gratitude. Or maybe you just sit in silence for a moment and allow yourself to feel alive. Small gestures, right? Almost too simple to matter. And yet, these tiny choices carry the power to shape your entire day. The Buddha once taught, drop by drop, the bucket is filled. He wasn't talking about water. He was talking about life. Every small act of awareness, every mindful habit, becomes a drop that slowly fills the bucket of peace, clarity, and resilience within you. Let me tell you about a woman named Claire. She's in her late 52nd, juggling work, family, and the quiet loneliness that sometimes lingers in the evenings. For years, her mornings were filled with rushing coffee, emails, rushing to get ready. Life felt heavy, like she was always chasing but never arriving. One day, a friend suggested something simple. Before anything else, just take one slow breath. Claire laughed. How can a single breath change anything? She asked. But she tried it anyway. And slowly, one breath became 3. 3 breaths became a whispered, "Thank you for the gift of waking up." And within weeks, she noticed her mornings no longer felt like a race. They felt like an arrival. It wasn't about fixing her entire life at once. It was about planting seeds, small mindful moments that grew into something much larger. Modern science confirms what Buddhism has taught for centuries. Neuroscientists say that even a few minutes of mindfulness in the morning can reset the nervous system, lower cortisol levels, and rewire the brain toward calm and focus. It's like giving your mind a clean slate before the world starts writing on it. Think about that. You don't need a dramatic transformation to change your life. You just need one breath, one thought of gratitude, one mindful sip of tea. These small acts are like doors quietly opening you to a life of balance and meaning. So let me ask you, what is one small thing you can try tomorrow morning? Could it be placing your hand on your heart as you breathe? Could it be noticing the taste of your breakfast instead of rushing past it? Or maybe just looking out the window and remembering, I am here and this is enough. And maybe, as you listen to this, you're thinking of someone you love, someone who might be caught in the rush of their own mornings. If so, share this with them. Sometimes, a gentle reminder is the greatest gift we can give. Because here's the truth, life doesn't transform in one dramatic leap. It transforms in small, almost invisible moments. Moments that seem ordinary until you look back and realize they've been extraordinary all along. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, remember this: your first choice can change your whole day. And your days, stacked one by one, become your life. And if this message touched you, stay with me. There are more stories, more wisdom, waiting to unfold in the videos ahead. Together, we can keep planting these drops of mindfulness until your bucket is overflowing.